Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new F1 2020 video. Today back with another league race around Silverstone Short. It's going to be a 100% race, which is quite equal to a 50% race around the long track basically. So yeah, this is ORL round 10. This is actually the championship or title decider for me, as we can wrap up the championship this race if we outscore Daniel Haddad, who is 54 points behind me. So yeah, with 2 races to go after this, we can basically win the championship if both of us score 0 points, or if Daniel only outscores us by 1 point. I think even if he outscores us by 2 points, he still won't make it. There's 26 points is the maximum, so with 2 races to go, if we're 53 ahead, we definitely will win. As you can see, I'm on the mediums right now. Reason for that is I chose the balanced tire strategy, because in case there was going to be rain at the end of the race, I obviously wanted to make it until the rain hits. So it's easily going to be 4 push laps in this qualifying session, so I felt like I might as well use the mediums and see how they are. So yeah, starting my lap now. Don't expect much from this. It's not really important, just setting a valid lap time on the board. I think going into turn 1 here, the grip didn't feel too bad. You can see it grips up quite nicely, those mediums. So yeah, just a little bit of the limit there on the exit, as you can see. Had quite a bit left on the table. And a 23.143, that's only like 2/10 of the softs at the moment. I know it's a very short track, so 2/10 will be a lot towards the end of the session. I think the whole field will probably be covered within 3 to 4 tenths. So yeah, coming out of the final corner now, it's gonna be a 43.459, and that puts us P2. So very surprised about that. I'm gonna keep pushing just to get back to the pit lane fast, as I let one car go who is starting his push lap. Some people that are on softs.
It's a damn good lap on mediums, actually, to be honest.
So yeah, yeah, I'm ahead of quite some people on those mediums, but yeah, next run is going to be softs again, or the next 3 runs are going to be softs. As we want to be aiming for pole, of course. The strategy is easy, soft to medium, so that's why we want to qualify in the softs, of course. Now heading out on my last soft run. I think there's like 3.5 minutes remaining, around 3 minutes. So yeah, looking to try and grab pole away. Didn't do a very good first 2 soft runs so far. Currently P4 with a 43.106. We need to do at least a 42, I feel like. As you can see, 3.5 minutes remaining. Just in case we invalidate, I can still do another lap, because
give it a full send.
Yes. Yeah. Minimum amount of fuel is still like 5 laps of fuel, so I can just either burn it down or keep a little bit more in the tank. I felt like it didn't really make a big difference, so around this track at least. So yeah, I'm just gonna burn it a little bit on this outlap and then start pushing. In case I invalidate, I can go again. So as you can see there, putting a little bit of brake and throttle on to burn that fuel, and then cool the engine on the rest of the straight. Also need to get a tire temperature up to temperature, of course. As you can see there, currently 80 degrees, a little bit too low. Gonna warm it up just before I start my lap right here. So yeah, trying to prepare this exit really well. 3rd gear and then short shift to 4th and 5th, and take a long run to carry more speed into my push lap. So heading into turn 1, easy flat. Don't want to run too many distance, and then same for turn 2, braking at the start of the curb, down to 3rd gear, and then short shift to 5th. You can see 100 up on my time currently, going through here, and here's where we gain a lot. We were really on the limit with the track limits there, as Nicolas Longue is on his outlap, currently 800s up. Pretty decent second sector there, heading into Stowe, trying to be absolutely on the limit with track limits. A little bit under it maybe. Was quite easy that exit. Braking at the start of the curb again, down to 3rd gear, hit the sausage, and then short shift to 5th on this exit. Coming across the line, it's gonna be at 43.015. Not what I was aiming for, but it's provisional pole.
Easy.
I don't think that's fast enough though.
What's your PB?
9.5. What the? So yeah, not the ideal lap, but probably enough for top 3. As a lot of people are still in laps. 1.5 minutes remaining, so I could go again.
Oh my god, the traffic.
Memories.
So yeah, I could go again, but I want to save the set of tires, as this is where I have to start
The
the race
Termala.
on. So
Yep.
A long way in a
So
lap.
the-
He's about to finish in 3, 2, 1.
yeah, Nicolas Longway goes onto provisional pole now. I'm gonna save this set of tires
This
for
is
the race,
just
because this is
an
where I have
absolute
to start the race on.
disaster.
I decide to cut the grass here a little bit because there's too much traffic. I don't want to stand still on track because there's a chance you get disqualified, so just decide to get completely out of the way and save the set of tires for the race. So final results now. P2 by Nicolas
Niks is already
Longway.
out of the championship contention.
You can see the top 18 covered in 2.4 tenths around such a short track. It's going to be very close, of course.
13, 1.7 tenths. Top
We
18
lost-
within 2.4 tenths.
We lost out on pole by 107 thousandths, which is a shame. But yeah, to be honest, around the track like this, lots can happen. There are a lot of different laps you can make a pit stop on. So yeah, starting P2 is not too bad. It's really gonna depend on the race, where we're gonna finish. I would say everyone in the top 5, 6 has the chance to win. So let's head into the race.
As 100%.
So you're lining up on the grid now, behind Nicolas Longway, or next to Nicolas Longway, or championship rival, I would say. Danielle Haddad starting behind us.
Thank you.
We need to basically, if we outscore him, we win. As simple as that. If we, I'm 54 points ahead, so let's say Daniela finishes in P10 and I don't score points, then I will still win the championship. So, but if he finishes P9, I think we still win the championship. But and P8 and I don't score points, then we won. So now a very good start. Me and Nicolas Longway, we were quite clear heading into turn
Oh my
3,
god.
and I got hit extremely hard going into there. I think it was Tormala will hit us, but Tormala got
I got hit
by
so hard.
Alessio. So
Just about survived. Alessio has damage.
Yeah, I can imagine. Fucking hell.
So Alessio hit Yoni, and Yoni went into the back of me. Yoni very luckily didn't get damage. I don't know how, but I got hit so hard, as you could see there. I went completely off track. So now I have to push a little bit to get in or stay in the DRS zone of Nicolas, who's really pushing it to try and make it out. But you can see we're almost 100%. There's a little bit of oversteer going into turn 3 there. Not very comfortable with the balance so far in this race. You can see 9.5 tenths now, struggling with the rear pretty much everywhere, and that's why I'm gonna go up to 51 brake bias coming out of stow here, if I remember correctly. So yeah, we're really pushing the ERS to try and stay within that second, so I can get the DRS right here. Tire temperatures are a little bit difficult sometimes around here. Rear left, quite easy to overheat, as it's basically corner after corner. The tires don't really get a breather like they do on the long track, where there are a lot longer straights. So it can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes. But now on that last lap we used 20% DRS, and we're gonna get DRS for the first time. So yeah, you can see 51 brake bias now. Fabrizio started P7 up to P4 now, very solid. As our championship rival got front wing damage as well in that turn 3 incident. So Daniele Haddad and Alessio Di Cappa, both front wing damage, had to pit for a new set of tires and a new front wing. And so championship wise it's looking very good. Patrick Crouch is only 1 point behind Daniele Haddad. So I think we need to outscore him as well, but it is looking very good for us at the moment. Especially as our main threat is out of this race at this point, and Alvaro Carreton, who was I think another threat, is not driving this race. So it's looking very good for us championship wise, but of course I'm aiming to just win the race here and get my 5th win in a row. So for now I'm just gonna sit behind Nicolas Longuet, save my tires a bit, make sure they don't overheat, and take advantage of this DRS. Starting lap 12 now, 3/10 behind Nicolas Longuet, who has been dropping back a little bit. I'm on almost 100%, and Joni Tormela is quite close behind me as well. Felt like Nicolas was struggling a little bit with the rear, so pace-wise he wasn't doing great, and I felt like now is probably the time to get past him. I'm gonna put on the overtake, open the rear wing, and go past him, going into Stowe, into the lead of the race, as we're currently on a personal best 1st and 2nd sector, with a little bit of help of DRS and the overtake button, of course. So going into the lead now, maybe try to keep that lead until we go into the pit stops. Don't want to get held, of course, so might stay out a little bit longer or go for the undercut, to make sure I don't get held, as yeah, really don't want that in such a slipstream of the restaurant. As Fabrizio Donoso got a 3-second penalty, I think at turn 1 right there. So
Donoso penalty already.
Yeah, copy.
So yeah, as you can hear me say, Donoso penalty
Might be a
already.
Good idea to try and stretch as much as you can to the guys behind.
Yep. Soft stay really well for really long, as tire is quite low, so that's why JD tells me try to stretch this stint as long as possible. Only gonna get advantage from it until the end of the race. So yeah, top 5 currently: me, Nicolas Longuet, Joni Tormela, Fabrizio Donoso, and Josh Idowu. All within 1.5 seconds, so very close race so far. But for now I'm just gonna keep my ERS to 100% in case I will need it, and then yeah, maybe stretch this stint slightly longer than everyone else. We're nearing the end of lap 20 now. There's some people that have made a pit stop ahead of us. We're almost a lap behind. Of course, when a pit stop takes 30 seconds on a 45-second lap, you're at risk to get lapped, as Fabrizio Donoso comes into the pits now, if I'm correct. Yeah, Fabrizio comes into the pits, so he's gonna try and go for the undercut.
Who went into the pits? Fabrizio.
Fabrizio, yep.
And Dario is in P5 on the medium, so he's doing very well. He's within the DRS of Josh,
Held anyway.
and he's gonna have new softs towards the end of the race, so he's a real big threat at this point. But yeah, this is basically the pit window. Anything from lap 19 onwards, you can go into the pits, so we're really on the limit there.
Just want to stay out as long as possible.
Yeah, copy.
As you can hear me say,
Balance is still good.
if I pit now, I'm at risk of getting held
your
by
take
maybe
of the
Josh if he has a slow pit entry. So just gonna stay out to make sure I don't get held. Maybe for another lap, depending on what everyone else does. Fabrizio definitely gonna get quite a big undercut, I think so. Of course, the tires do need to warm up for the first 2-3 corners, which is like half the track around here.
He's come
But
out cleaner.
yeah, Fabrizio came out in clean air, so he's probably gonna push really hard now to try and get that undercut work. But we are just gonna continue now, and long way, 2.5 tenths behind us, so he's probably gonna try and come into the pits. So we're gonna do the exact same. Turn on the overtake button so I don't get overtaken going into Stowe. So really important that I stay ahead here and maybe come out still in P1, even after Fabrizio trying to undercut us by 2 laps. So we're gonna come into the pits now, brake. Well, this is really hard to have a reference around here. Joni Tormela stays out for 1 more lap. Josh came in last lap, so he might undercut us as well. Although I don't think so, I ran such a short lap that he will undercut us. But yeah, 52% on those softs. We could have gone longer, but well, we only need to do 29 more laps on those mediums.
10% more ERS, but you're about to save it all anyway.
So yeah, coming out now, Nicolas is gonna get held.
Long way get held a lot.
Yeah.
Like usual.
He was,
with this
he
game.
was struggling behind you with the dirty air and the titans.
So yeah, Nicolas got held, which is probably gonna ruin his overcut, or the advantage he has from staying out slightly longer. And coming out, we're gonna come out right behind Fabrizio, and right ahead of Falconardi. Nicolas Longway behind Falconardi, a second behind Falconardi. I don't think even Nicolas is gonna get DRS here on this first lap. And now...
Is Donoso low?
Yes.
So yeah, Donoso low on ERS. And we notice that, as JD tells us, So going into stow with almost 100%. So big advantage. We're gonna try and use that now to maybe break out of DRS. As let's not forget, Nicolas does not have a penalty yet. So he's our biggest threat.
Oh, let's push.
So
He's
if
just above, he's on 10% now.
Copy. The recharge is really quick around here, so.
Yep, yep, yep.
So yeah, if we can break away from Fabrizio, or maybe Fabrizio and me can break away from Nardi, then it means Nicolas is a lot less big of a threat for the rest of this race, as he will have to push really hard to get back into the DRS. So I'm gonna use my overtake in the next few laps to try and break out.
Got 3-second penalty.
But as you can hear now, right there, long way 3-second penalty, which is gonna make a race so much easier, as we have 0 warnings at this point. So yeah, we are, I would say, quite low at the risk of getting a penalty. So coming across the line now, it's not the fastest lap of the race yet, but we're gonna make sure we get that in the next few laps. As I turn my brake bias down to 50 again, as I felt like I had slightly too much understeer, just adjusting myself slightly to what I feel is the best 7/10s now to Fabrizio, and we're gonna keep pushing and use that ERS to try and get out of the DRS from Fabrizio. But of course he's gonna get DRS right here again, so he's gonna make up 1.5 tenths going into stow again. So we're gonna have to keep using it to maybe break out of that DRS. Really pushing it now, using a lot of fuel as well. I put in +5 laps at the start of the race. Of course, +5 laps around Silverstone short is probably more or less the same as +3 laps around the full circuit. So it's not a lot of fuel extra, basically. As we're 8 tenths now, so we tracked out another 1 tenth on the last lap, which got a bit of oversteer. Rears are probably screaming a bit with me pushing that hard. Turn on the overtake again to try and get out of that.
Really struggling, so keep doing it.
Yeah, as you can hear JD say, Fabrizio struggling to try and stay in the DRS, but he keeps getting the DRS, so and then he closes in 1.5 tenths again, so it's not really helping us that much. But yeah, now 6 seconds behind Andy, who still has to make a pit stop, so he's really not a threat this race. He's probably gonna try and stay out as long as possible in case a safety car comes out, and then he takes huge advantage from that, because then he will have new softs, and pitting on the safety car costs a lot less time, as everyone has to stick to a delta, of course. So now 9.5 cents going through that right hander, going into sector 3.
ERS.
So yeah, 0 ERS. We're 9.8 tenths at some point, but we have no ERS left as well. So both the same issue, no ERS left, and I think we're not gonna be able to do it because we're not gaining enough time. But let's not forget, Nicolas does not have DRS, which was an important thing, of course, before he got the penalty. But now all we have to make sure is that we don't get a penalty, because if we say within 3 seconds of Fabrizio or Nicolas when they cross the line, then we will win the race. So we just need to make sure to not get any warnings, and yeah, then we're very likely to probably win this race. As a lot of people have penalties. You can see Aerox, Andy, Fabrizio and Longway and Nardi, who is in P11 currently, all have penalties. So that's going to be very interesting to see who else gets more penalties. You can see Dario pits for the softs, and he has a penalty as well. So yeah, as I said before, he's probably quite a big threat, but with a 3-second penalty, the threat reduces a lot if we don't get one. So yeah, I've given up on trying to get out of the DRS from Fabrizio, as he clearly can stay within. So just gonna recharge now and save tires probably in case a safety car comes out. I still have a lot of fuel left to use. We're just over the halfway and we're still on +2.7, so we can use that, as I probably used the overtake for the last time.
Does Dario have a penalty?
Let me check. Yes, he does.
Okay.
So yeah, Dario coming out on softs. Gonna do 24 laps on those softs, which is pretty easy. Personally, I would have probably stretched it slightly longer on those mediums, as they don't really drop off anyway, and that makes overtaking slightly easier the rest of the race. So yeah, now only 2 people ahead of me that have to make a pit stop, and And yeah, they are most certainly going on the softs, but I don't think they will really be in contention for the podium, as pit stop takes like 27-28 seconds, and Suzuki owned is 17 seconds ahead, which means he will come out 11 seconds behind. So there's no way he's gonna make that up around Silverstone. So yeah, as you can see now, recharging the battery, we were up to 15% going through Stowe, up to 20% now, and I'm just gonna recharge until I'm back at 100% or Fabricio passes me. So now starting lap 41, we're only 2.5 tenths ahead of Fabricio. Nicolas Longue has got back into DRS of Fabricio, and Joni Tormela only 1.4 seconds behind us, who does not have a penalty. So if anyone is a threat, I would say Joni. As Fabricio attacks us now to take the lead of the race on track, but technically we are leading because of the 3-second penalty, of course. So yeah, Joni is probably our biggest threat at this point. With not having a penalty, Nicolas behind to 6 seconds now, so he's really not going to be a threat anymore. With that 6 seconds, we're just going to try and get that ERS back up to 100% and maybe try to win on track. But for now, you can still see I have plus 2 laps of fuel remaining, which is quite a lot, but that means we can attack towards the end of the race a lot more. Same tire wise, just trying to drive as smooth as possible, not have any slides or lockups, so we can have more pace towards the end of the race. As Nicolas is going for it with his ERS. You can see he got really close, but I closed the door there as he was nowhere near next to me. So yeah, he probably used a lot of ERS doing that, and that once again makes our life easier.
I know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, you got this. Longue is on 40% ERS as well.
Try to get a long way ahead of me so Fabricio can pull the 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you can hear me say there, Nicolas, Fabricio are teammates, of course. So I was quite sure that they were trying to get Nicolas ahead of me. I think even after the race they were getting into my chat saying they were trying that to do. So yeah, they didn't manage to on that lap, and Nicolas is running a lot lower now. So we can easily fend him off with the ERS we have. Yeah, if I don't get a chance to win on track, then we need to just take it off with finishing P2. So yeah, or P2 on track and then win the race, of course, on penalties, like we did last week around Paul Ricard. But yeah, well, that's how it is. If you take the advantage from cutting a corner or going wide, then you get penalized for it. So now, again, Nicolas tries to go for it with his ERS, but again, doesn't make it. Got very close, only 1.5 tenths behind me going into Stowe. But now he has used so much ERS, and we are almost on 100%. So even if he would overtake us, we can easily get past again with our ERS. As now we're
sure, this Andy has already made a pit stop. Or not
No.
made a pit stop.
No, he hasn't made a pit stop.
Okay.
So yeah, I was a bit worried that Andy already made a pit stop. I was confused why he was staying out so long, but he was just hoping for a virtual safety car or an actual safety car.
Perhaps on 80% ERS.
Okay. So he could then
Use streaming so I can actually watch it.
So yeah, going back to the Andy story, in case there was a safety car, he could take a big advantage from it, pitting under safety car and then having very new softs. Yeah, we're not gonna pit, even if a safety car would come out. We have already made the mandatory pit stop. So see engine getting a bit hot, so we need to cool it a little bit. And the 26 is still quite okay, quite doable. But yeah, I'm just setting myself up to try and get past Fabricio and win on track. Not gonna take major risk trying to win this race on track, as we know track limit penalties won't get removed unless you maybe get pushed wide or something. And now moving on to the final 2 laps of the race, you can see I've been pushing with the ERS slightly to get closer to Fabricio, and same for Fabricio, he was pushing to try and stay ahead, of course, as he had similar levels of ERS. So Yeah, you can see Fabricio running slightly wide there, but I don't think that gave him a warning. We're gonna put in the overtake button now, and the DRS as well going into Stowe. We're gonna try and go around the outside, but we're not really next to him, so nothing we can really do. And almost pulled out of the DRS from Nicolas Longway, so struggling to keep up at the moment. Yoni Tormala still in P4 and Josh Idowu in P5, so looks like
How much is he on?
30,
Yoni is gonna
25.
finish second if I win the race and don't get a penalty. So now again, trying to go into turn 3 around the outside maybe. He pushes a little bit wide. I decide to back out of it. Of course, we're fighting for a championship as well. And now we're gonna turn on the overtake again and try to have a go going into Stowe. You can see his rear light starts flashing, which means he's low, going around the outside and Stowe, back to 5th gear, all the way around the outside. But we didn't really get the momentum. We were on the dirty line, got understeer, going into the chicane. Fabricio around the outside. We have a small touch again on the exit here, and then going across the line. We're not gonna win on track, but we are gonna win on penalties. So it's the 5th straight win in a row, and we are ORL champions for the 3rd time in a row. As Patrick Rucci only gets 4 points.
Oh no, never mind.
And Daniel Haddad finished P16, which means they're barely scoring any points, or at least not outscoring me, as we won the race. So yeah, very happy to win my 3rd ORL championship in a row, especially considering we missed the first 3 races. And to wrap it up with 2 races to go, basically, it's just amazing. We had a really good season. Basically, out of the 6 races I participated, no, sorry, 7 races I participated, I won 6 of them, apart from China, where I made a strategic mistake with the rain. So yeah, it's just an amazing season so far. Winning my 5th straight race in a row and winning my 6th race overall. So yeah, just amazing to win the championship in such a short season with 2 races to go. So yeah, really happy with that. Next week we have Monza. Really enjoy that track on this game. So make sure to watch again next week at 5 p.m. GMT, as that's when I always post my ORL highlights. So, but anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And see you guys next time. Ciao.